start just by extending our arms and drawing circles inside, and just imagine that your hands are like a brush, so you're in space, just painting these perfect circles. And you can take time to do it slowly, but just really, and even if they're smaller, just try to keep this idea of drawing the circles. And now start putting them outwards. Feel the heat that this creates on your chest. Start feeling the weight of your muscles, and hug the scapula, so this back part of your shoulder blades. Look up, let your head fall, and come down. And let the arms fall. Roll up. Rotate your head towards the left side 4 times. Let it really ripple through. We're gonna hear some noise. And then to the other side. And we're really just like warming up and oiling, preparing for physical practice. We're contracting, expanding our solar plexus, and curving and contracting and opening and curving inwards. And then from here, you place your hands on your hips. You open a little bit more, the hip distance apart, and you start making those circles, this time with your hips. And you really try to go and make that perfect shape of a circle. 3 and 4, and then to the other side. And 4. Now you're gonna place your hands on your knees. Just give a quick rub, a quick massage. Feet parallel apart. And now you make the same circles, but this time diagonally with your knees. And really think about the meniscus, the spongy part of the knees that gives flexibility to the joint. It needs to be warmed before any physical practice. Go to the other side. And allow your feet to open a little bit. Allow your knees to bend. Allow your head to come down. Allow your hands to potentially touch the floor. Head stays down. And use this forward bend to open the back of your legs with your breath. Now travel with your hands and keep your legs straight until you find yourself in a sort of table position, and stay here and really feel the transfer of the weight of your body towards your hands and your fingers. Hug the floor with them. Press back against the floor to almost feel a pull, and relax your knees. Open and Come to a child's pose. Mm. Enjoy relaxing the weight of your body, the weight of your hips, of your glutes, going towards your feet. The head is strong, the forehead holds the weight. And now come back to your table and let's pivot towards the left side and try to hold it, opening your right side up, looking up and closing back. The other side, transfer the weight as slow as you need and open, feel your body shaking. It's a good sign, and close. And now let's just walk our legs forward, roll. And with this activation, we're just going to start with some simple movements. So just arms, same leg, same arm bending, the other leg down, the opposite leg, and the opposite arm. Diagonal. Find your own way to do this movement. Find detail in the repetition. And the other side. See how you do it differently on the other side. Slow the movement down. And now I want you to think that we are going to, with our arms and with our bodies, we are going to try to touch in different points in space. So I'm touching one point, touching another one. Now my feet is touching one and my hand is touching another. Or my shoulder, my right shoulder is touching one, and then my left fingers are touching other points. So just move around with this intention, touching points in space. Which part of your body touches where? Keep still the intention of just simply touching points in space at different speeds, different intentions. Touching points in space. Touching points in which you can see in the camera, touching points that are invisible to the camera, touching a lot of points at the same time. Touching points staccato one to another in very straight lines, but maybe making a lot of space for more melting points and changing abruptly to something else. Touching points in space. Keep breathing. Don't stop. Don't be busy still with how you look like, but it's more of a exploration of like how many different points in space you can touch and creating connections between them, creating invisible lines that act like shadows or remnants that somehow will help you to better visualize your path. Use the floor, the middle levels. Use the travels also to maybe warm up a certain part of your body that feels a little bit more stiff still. Don't let yourself predict the next move that you're going to make. Surprise yourself. In your own selection, in your own trail of thoughts, pathways. Maybe you go through somewhere where it doesn't really make sense. It's fine to pause, to listen to yourself, and continue. Touching points in space. Make the breath present. Make your breath longer. Exaggerate on the breath. Notice what that creates within your practice. And maybe at this point, the movement already seems kind of automatic and dynamic, but you're still just touching points in space. And this time I want you to focus yourself in keeping on moving, keep touching spaces, but I want you to pay attention to your eyes. And what do you see around you? The floor, the couch, the window, the TV, whatever it is that you see around, a bed maybe, a color, a reflection, or a shadow. And whilst you look at these things, relate yourself to them. How far are you from them? Do you want to get closer? Once you find yourself being very involved in one point, just move your head and find another. Imagine you are the space looking at yourself. Notice everything. Notice space. And you're probably noticing time now. It's been a while since we've started dancing. It's been a while since we've been touching spaces. Be in the moment every single time. Keep the motion. Do not judge the way that it looks like. Do what feels nice. There's a movement that you like, so repeat the movement. You can stay there for a while. Break. Keep looking, moving your head. Play with speed. Play with timing. Play with the camera. Play with what you can be seen doing. Look at the other. Look at yourself and look at something else. Move in a way that makes you feel good, that is yummy. Today, none of the way that you move has to make any sense to anyone. It also doesn't have to make sense to yourself. Whatever you do, don't stop. You're probably sweating at this point. Your muscles, your arm, your legs, your hips, your shoulders, your stomach, they're all warm now. So they are like a pipeline to all these things that we don't have words for. Because we are touching points in space. You're probably remembering, your brain is probably remembering you of like some friend or an appointment that you made or something work related. Allow yourself to think about all those things while you're just moving. Maybe it will influence the way that you move for a second and then you'll think about something else. Or maybe there will be a moment that you'll just be thinking about touching points in space. So you can always go back to that simplicity or enjoy the complexity. And it's totally fine to also just isolate one zone of the body, or maybe two or three. Play with that. And change. And go with one plan to look like something to just simply go somewhere totally else. So this way, you never let them know your next move. We're gonna slowly but surely choose one point in space in which we are going to stop moving around in space and focusing on moving just in this spot. Touching every single point that is around us in our 360 experience of movement. Staying in the same spot. And now we're gonna start by accelerating our movement, and we're gonna go from, let's say, a 10, which is how much you're doing right now, to a 0, which would be an absolute stop. So 10, 9, 8. Feel like you're leaving something behind, leaving effort. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's do 0.5. And see how little movement, how the little movements go. We call this the hidden dance. So you are dancing, same speed, but it's hidden. You look like you're not moving from outside. There's always movement. And this is the point that you don't have to really want to make movement, because your body will just move on it. Close your eyes. The top of the head goes up. Sit bones go down. Bring your souls. And just allow any movement to unfold without choosing words. Just simply being a passenger in the ship. Stay in the micro dance, the imperceptible dance. And just as a thought is in order, try to go almost like falling into the floor. So allowing yourself to fall into the floor, into starfish pose. And be finally freed from gravity, allowing gravity to beat you from standing up. Breathe. Open your eyes. Wiggle, wiggle. Ugh. And we are done with this first session. Grab some water. Let's take a little second. Need to go to the toilet, and just gonna come back in 2 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah. Yo.